Good morning everyone. In this video I'm going to analyze the live price action for EU and DXY to see what opportunities are available for today. In this video you're going to see my strategy and my analysis, so if you're interested in those then please stick around. Right, so let's start off on the daily. As always we have EU on the top, DXY on the bottom. So it's the last day of the week, last working day of the month and also the quarter. So we'll see how price behaves for us. So what's the daily showing us? Well, previous day we actually closed out bullish. Now of course we had some bearish momentum before that, but yesterday we closed out quite bullish. We went up even higher by the looks of it, but maybe we mitigated something and pulled back down somewhat. On our inverse DXY we closed out bearish, however it looks more like a low test, so clearly something was mitigated, right? Same as above, and we pulled back quite a lot. Now price action hasn't changed much from previous days, so it's very similar. Of course we spiked down taking previous weekly lows and sell side liquidity from previous lows there. With all that high time frame sell side liquidity, it's no surprise we had a bullish day overall yesterday. We are slowly making that lower low, but we're yet to close below it to make that obvious like we have on DXY, where it's quite obviously trending. We are still sort of in this, finding support around this area, taking sell side liquidity, but we'll see what the lower time frame shows. There's not loads here on the daily, I think, to read into that's much different from yesterday. Previous daily highs and lows are still intact on EU for buy side and sell side liquidity. On DXY, however, we have taken the previous daily high buy side liquidity already overnight. We'll see what that does. It seems to be causing some kind of bearish pullback from the early bullish momentum. Let's go down to the 4 hour and see what that shows us so we can get some more detail. Right, so here we have the 4 hour. I've identified this high to this low here as our new bearish leg. Of course we did close as a sweeping candle here, this doji here, taking all this sell side liquidity from previous weekly lows and old lows here. It's still a lower low nonetheless, as I said. Right, so from this sell side liquidity, clearly we had this bullish run yesterday. Now we've pulled back into a premium, clear premium here, gone above these highs. So now the buy side liquidity above these highs is mitigated. We've fully closed this 4 hour imbalance now, right, which was only partially mitigated before, and we've respected that. This has wicked higher, but the candle closure is still within it. So that POI is fully closed now. Buy side liquidity mitigated from a premium. From there you've seen overnight and into today it's had bearish momentum. Now things to consider is we've pulled back into this 4 hour POI. So this is an order block. We had a small imbalance here, we filled it, and the bearish momentum seems to have stopped. We're currently having a lot of bullish momentum, but we have 2 hours left still to fill this candle. So we'll see on the 1 hour what that shows us. However, if we look into the picture of this now, obviously we have the bullish DXY, clear high highs, higher lows, high highs, higher lows now. Right, we pulled back into a POI the same as we did above here, mitigated this POI here, and went bullish from there. So there are quite a few divergences. There's a break between DXY and EU, which looks to be causing, a lot of this price action. We'll see this SMC line clearer on the 1 hour, but as you can see, we went above these highs on EU and didn't go below these lows on DXY. So SMC divergence indicating strength on DXY. Now we've had some strength from there, and that strength has caused us to take the previous daily high and some highs here. This high is still intact as the ultimate week high, I would say, on the 4 hour. But we've gone through that previous daily high, so we've taken buy side liquidity, as I mentioned, on the daily, which is having some sort of bearish effect here, which is why we're having that bullish candle on EU. It may be temporary, or it may be that it will cause further bearish pullback. We don't know, but it's just something to consider, right? So we've come into this premium, mitigated this, had a bearish move from there. Now we're possibly finding support here, and we've found some buy side liquidity here, which may be sponsoring this bullish move. However, at the moment, still bearish structure, right? So I would still favor this at the moment as the possible weak low. because this is possibly the lower high. We'll have to see what the 1 hour shows us. DXY is still trending bullish, though at the moment we failed to take that high. But we'll see on the 1 hour because the 4 hour sometimes is not showing live. So saying that, let's go down to the 1 hour and look at this. Right, so now we're on the 1 hour, we'll see this all in a lot more detail. So yesterday we had our bearish initial move in the morning after taking a buy side liquidity above these highs. Now this pulled us back down to a 1 hour order block, very clear order block with imbalance, rejected, and we made that move higher, coming up into these imbalances above price. If you watched yesterday's video, there was also a 4 hour imbalance here, which was looked more likely to be drawn into once we've rejected this area. There was a news announcement, drove price even higher into the premium of the 4 hour leg, which is fine and it's great, right? So what that did on DXY, well, we got that bearish move down on news, closed this 1 hour imbalance, which is also within a 4 hour imbalance, right? Found that support there. That introduced that SMC divergence from this low to this low, so low to a higher low, then high to higher high, right? So indicated strength on DXY. From there we had that bullish strength, and we didn't quite create a new high above this high here. We're just below it at the moment, so I hope that's clear. Let me just make this smaller here. So yeah, bullish move from this area, bullish move from this 1 hour POI as well. Yeah, so we had the same 1 hour order block here and here, which then caused that bearish move and that bullish move. Bullish move above here, taking buy side liquidity and fully mitigating the POIs up here. Bearish move since then into today, right? We also had this 1 hour POI, SMC divergence, bullish move into today. So at this moment, this high is still intact, and this, obviously this low is still intact, so it looks like we're going to get further SMC divergences once we take these highs. It's quite brutal at the moment. We're very far away from that low, so we'll see what that means for EU and DXY in the future. Is it possibly going to be a short-term bullish trend or not? We'll see. At the moment, into the recent price action for today now, we have a 1 hour POI just above price here. It looks like price is possibly being drawn to it. Like I said, we had our bearish move and we had our bullish move. Are we going to continue our bullish structure now to create new highs, and our bearish move to create new lows after mitigating this premium, right? So on the 4 hour, we pulled to the premium and it looks like we're heading lower. On the 1 hour, we've made that bullish move. Are we going to continue bearish or bullish? Well, we have this possible resistance in the way, possible support in the way here on DXY to continue that trend and to continue that trend. So for me, this is an important POI. We had a lot of bearish momentum from here, left behind an order block that can turn into possible resistance today to come and take out these lows, possible weak low here on the 4 hour, possible weak high here. So yes, for me, very important, imbalance and order block. So in terms of bias, I think the 4 hour looks more bearish. We have the bearish structure, pulled back to a premium, mitigated a POI, and then we was heading bearish again. On the 1 hour, it gets more complicated, of course, because you have your internal legs to the 4 hour. We internally had this 1 hour POI, created a new higher high above these highs here, and then we've pulled back down to a discount of it, which is within a 4 hour order block. But we have possible resistance above to either continue going short from, or we're just going to blast through it and maybe create a new higher high. So the 1 hour, you could probably see both directions in terms of structure, which is why I think this is so important, and this POI here is so important, because at the moment we have SMC divergence, right, which is indicating a strong EU, because this low to a higher low, and then this high to a higher high. But will that just be the pullback needed to this 1 hour POI? So again, this is going to be important to me to trade from today, or to see if that bearish trend is going to continue from. So we'll see. So mixed picture on the 1 hour, but we have an important resistance POI we could continue to trend from, which the 4 hour bias is leaning towards being bearish. So let's go down to the M15. I know I've said a lot, and we can see what opportunities may be available for today. Here on the M15, we have obviously signs from the Asia session of us possibly already switching to bearish. if we look at yesterday, it was bullish order flow, right? We've got these high highs, high lows, high highs. Then overnight, we ranged into Asia. Asia came up, took in buy side liquidity above here, if it matters, breaking down, broke below this low and this low. So if you think about it, this is that new 15-minute bearish leg. At the moment, we are pulling back, right? Quite correctively as well, no momentum towards the premium of this internal leg here, where that 1 hour POI is. Same is happening here with DXY. We had our bearish 15-minute structure, pulled back, created that range overnight, took sell side liquidity from it, went bullish, right? Now we're also pulling back towards that 1 hour POI. So again, I think this is a good sign of possible resistance here. So I'm going to go with that bias. You may get some short-term long action. We have a 15-minute POI here, right? That we could continue this order flow back up to this area here. That's fine if that's within your risk, right, to trade in that direction. But at the moment, I don't see anything I want to trade with that. I'd rather wait for the POI. If we'd had maybe some, sweep below Asia and then that break of structure, I'd be more willing to trade that counter trend towards this 1 hour POI. But we'll see what happens between now and then. Yes, I think it's probably valid that these POIs here could be traded from, right? They've taken buy side liquidity and broken down and we're pulling back to it. That's not going to be my style today. I don't think I'm just going to set an order here in this 1 hour POI, but I think that could definitely work out. This is what I want to see for today. Price to keep pulling up. We go into this 1 hour POI, right? From this 1 hour POI here, I want to see it hold and break of structure as usual. Break of structure below this low here. Doesn't have to be so far down as this, but break of structure, pull back, lower time frame, POI and order block down here in balance to continue going short. This would give me more confidence that this area is going to hold, that 1 hour hasn't switched order flow to go bullish to take out these highs or anything like that. So at the moment, I'll wait for this most likely. So POI on our side, break of structure, possible inducement during the pullback, lower time frame, order blocking imbalance, set our order from this area to go short, stop loss just above the highs, and then you can aim to Asia lows if they're still intact or beyond, right? So that's fine. So that I think will be very high probability using the POI on the 1 hour. Now, what else do I see? If we don't make it up to this 1 hour POI, this is an internal buy side liquidity sweep. So we have buy side liquidity swept internally here. We have sell side liquidity swept internally on DXY. Now this itself may just break down. I would love if we had a better low to go from, a more obvious one, but let's just draw this out. If we break down from here and we pull back to our low time frame, POI, order block with imbalance here to continue going down to the previous daily low or ultimately that week low down here. Our negative in this scenario would be that price obviously may want to come up into this premium for this 1 hour POI. But if you get a lot of momentum here and it breaks and closes below these lows here, these equal lows, and then we get a corrective pullback, again, this POI here may just hold. Alright, so break of structure, inducement, lower time frame, order block would be somewhere around here, right? And then we would set our order to continue going short, stop loss just above the high, head for those lows. And I think that's very valid, but again, this is the negative immediately above, but we have swept liquidity, so it could work out. We have that SMC against us at the moment. Those are the opportunities I see to continue with that bearish trend and order flow if we see the structure continuing to break down. I hope you gained value from that. I hope it was clear. Any questions, let me know in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.